Hi, this is Kim Turner, and in this video I'm going to show you the sum function and how to calculate percents. So right now I have a spreadsheet open and I'm in the sheet called Sales Report. And before we get started though, I wanted to show you something. I'm in Microsoft 365 right now, and I noticed I can't see the complete ribbon. So I wanted to tell you about this down arrow called Switch Ribbons. It's on the right hand side. And if you click on that down arrow, it will show you the full ribbon. So I prefer to work with the full ribbon showing so that you can see all of those icons. So now let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to click in C6, and I'm going to use the sum function. So the sum function, of course, adds two values together. So on every formula, we hit the equal sign, and then type uppercase SUM and an open parenthesis. And I can select or type the cell range that I want to sum. So the cell range is going to be C26 to N45. You can type that in there, or you can also select that range. I'm going to show you how you can select the range. So if I click on C26, it'll pop right into the formula, and you can see that in the formula bar up top. I click in the first cell, and I'm going to go down to the cell N45, all the way down to N45. So I have to scroll down and scroll to the right. And here's N45. I'm going to hold my Shift key down and then click on N45. And so the Shift key selects the entire range. And then I'm going to finish it with a closed parenthesis. So in the formula bar you can see I have a closed parenthesis, and parentheses have to be entered into a formula in pairs. Whenever I have an open parenthesis, I have to have a closed parenthesis. And so now I hit enter, and Excel takes me back to that cell with the formula in it. So I have the sum there of 72 million. So you can add two cells or add many cells using that sum formula, but sometimes you just want to add a couple cells, and in that case you can simply use the plus sign. So I'm going to go down to C9, click in the cell, and in this cell I'm going to type the formula equal sign and then C6, and instead of typing C6 I prefer to click the cell C6, and C6 will be entered right into the formula. And then hit a minus sign, and I'm going to subtract the sum, so use a open parenthesis, and then the sum of C7 plus C8. So I'm going to click on C7 and then use the plus sign and then click on C8. And then use a closed parenthesis to finish off that formula. So the reason why we have parentheses around this sum of C7 and C8 is because we want Excel to add these two values before they're subtracted from C6. If I were to leave those parentheses off, then Excel would add and subtract left to right, like order of operations say. It would calculate C6 minus C7 first and then add C8. Okay, so it's important to put those parentheses there to tell Excel what to do first. So now I can hit enter, and that saves the formula in the cell. And I'd like that same formula to be translated to column D. And so I'm going to, instead of typing out the formula again, I'm going to use the autofill function. So autofill is in the bottom right hand corner of the cell. You can see a very small square there, and when I hover over it I see like a cross. When you get to the cross, you hold down your mouse and drag it to the right, and when you do that, the formula will be copied into the next cell. Now it doesn't copy exactly. What it does is it translates it over to column D. So this formula has column C references, and when you autofill into column D, then your formula has column D references. And so autofill is a great tool that you can use to save a lot of time. The next thing I'm going to do is show you the percent formula in column F. So I'm going to click in F6 and I'm going to calculate the percent change between the two columns. So in the previous year, the company made $70 million, and in the current year, the company made $72 million. And so the percent change should be a positive number. So to find that percent, you subtract the current year minus the previous year, and that will give you a positive around $2 million in the numerator. And then you divide it by the year that you start with, which is the previous year. So divide it by D6. And that will show you the percent change from the previous year to the current year. So let's go ahead and create the formula. I'm going to click in the formula bar, which is also the same thing as clicking into F6. It's the same thing. And I'm going to hit the equal sign to start creating that formula. Open parenthesis, click in C6, subtract, and then D6, close parenthesis, divided by, click in D6 again, and it goes right into your formula. And then I'll hit enter. And so I did get a positive number, 3%, around 3% change, and it went up. And when you calculate this number, you might get a decimal, and that's because the format of the cell is in maybe a number format. And so you can very easily change it to a percent format by going to the number group and clicking on the percent, or clicking the down arrow and choosing the percentage format. Now I'd like the percent change of cost of sales, operating expenses, and net profit and loss. And so again, I want to save time by using the autofill feature. I'm going to use the autofill feature, click and drag down, and then if you don't see an icon come up to fill without formatting, you'll have to go and remove those borders. So F6 has a bottom border, and F9 does not have a bottom border. So F9 only has a top border. Okay, so that concludes the lesson on how to use the sum formula or the plus sign in a formula, and also how to find a percent change.